Welcome, Tiger fans, to the AHS Coaches Show. I'm your host, Will Glenn. Today, it's all about Tiger football. I'll catch up with head coach Jeb Jones and defensive coordinator Jonathan Lloyd as we break down this year's team and look ahead to the Tigers' Week 1 matchup. The AHS Coaches Show starts right now. Welcome to the first edition of the AHS Coaches Show, where we talk all things Arlington sports. Today, joining me in the studio is AHS football coach Jeb Jones. Coach, one day out before the game, how are we feeling?
Feel good. You know, we've been working all summer for this moment, and so the fact that it's finally here is exciting. You know, you obviously have the nerves before any game, but they're good nerves this year, and, you know, I feel like we're prepared to go out there and compete.
Coach, in your first season as head coach, you led the Tigers to a 7-4 record and the first playoff appearance in 5 years. How do you plan to build that success into year 2?
Just stacking days. You know, we talk about all the time each day, going out there and preparing for that day, and just making sure that we're getting a little bit better every time we step foot on the field. You know, last year was a great success. Those seniors are gone, so it's a new senior class, new leadership, and so it's their job to kind of keep that trend going and find the success and find the victories during practice, and then on Friday nights be able to go out there and just have fun and compete.
Last year, this offense relied heavily on the run. You turn Cameron Johnson, and you have Lincoln Lonis in the backfield. Jack Tidwell also gives you a running option at quarterback. Do you expect the run game to set up the passing game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most all teams, they want to rely on the run, especially in high school. And so having KJ, you know, Cameron Johnson back there and coming back from last season is a big benefit for us. You know, adding Lincoln into the run game. Last year he played a tight end position for us, but this year, you know, in spring, KJ had a little bit of an injury. Lincoln was the starter, and he kind of showed what he can do. He's a big physical back. You know, we have some heavy stuff for him. Then having Jack back there is just a leader. His athletic ability in the run game is an added benefit. Anytime that you can run the quarterback, you can add an additional blocker into the run scheme, which then opens him up to be able to pass the ball. You know, people are going to fill the box, and it just gives him a little bit more easier windows to be able to throw into, and that's always a benefit to have.
Jack Tidwell enters his senior year as a quarterback, and he'll have the primary position this year. How do you expect him to grow into just the leader of the team, the leader of the offense?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's an awesome competitor. You know, he's that kid that everybody wants on their team, every coach wants to have, just because of the fact that he's going to go out there no matter what, no matter the situation, he's going to compete and he's going to lead. Having that added quarterback position is a big benefit. You know, last year he played he was some receiver for us. We moved him around in multiple places. So he has a full understanding of the offense and what we're looking for. And so now as he slides into the quarterback one position, he just is able to bring all that knowledge into the game. And then each week he's going to get more comfortable in the system and seeing against the live defense. And he's looked really impressive in the scrimmages that we had. And like I said, we talked about earlier, the run aspect from him and being able to escape the pocket, you know, and reading the defense is something that he's very good at. And so we're going to rely heavily on him to be able to put us in the good situations to make the play. He has the full autonomy of the offense to be able to check at the line of scrimmage. And that's just something that we're going to rely on him to be able to do that.
Yes, sir. Jack Tidwell enters his senior year with a chance to lead an Arlington team looking to take another step forward. Harper Robinson has more on Jack Tidwell's journey to QB1.
I understand that I'm not the biggest, you know, I'm an undersized quarterback when you look at it, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm going to play up. I'm going to play like I'm 6'2", 200 pounds when I might not be.
After years of dedication, Jack Tidwell has seen many players transfer to other schools, but the Arlington native has chosen to stay.
Growing up, everybody else left, you know, and I wanted to stay. I wanted to play for my hometown. You know, I feel pride for this community, and I want to go out there and play for the best of my ability for them.
And now that dedication has paid off, as he was named QB1 for the upcoming season.
You know, this is what we've been working on. Senior year, that's what you think about, you know, for the last 4 years, so couldn't be more excited to do with this team.
Tidwell will line up under center surrounded by familiar faces, teammates he's grown up with, and bonds that grew even stronger this summer.
Going through the times together, going through fall camp where we, you know, got up early, we had 12-hour days, a bunch of practices, you know, that builds us together and helps us become a better team, so a lot of fun doing it.
But one of those relationships is a relatively new connection. AHS head coach and former quarterback Jeb Jones has taken his new QB1 under his wing.
and he's always asking to learn and always wanting to figure out why we're calling certain things. And he's been involved heavily with our game planning and for scrimmages and for practices and why we run stuff and why we're doing what we're doing.
You know, the knowledge he brings, playing at that level, playing at a high level, coaching at a level, he's really helped me break down the game and understand it to a level that I didn't have before. You know, and he's made it easier to understand defenses, easier to make reads. So he's simplified the game for me a lot.
Jack, you got to go flat first before you climb.
Coach Jones believed Tidwell brings a dynamic skill set to the Tigers, one that could help Arlington accomplish something it's never done before.
I think Jack can lead the team to, you know, host a home playoff game, and so that's our goal. A is always to make the playoffs, always to have a winning record. That's always going to be the goal. The kids don't understand how cool of an environment it is when you get to host a playoff game instead of having to travel. Last year we traveled to Southwind. It was a great environment. You know, this year we want that experience to be able to host that, and Jack's the guy to be able to lead us to do that.
Tidwell stayed home for the chance to lead his Tigers. Now he'll get that chance as QB1. In Arlington, I'm Harper Robertson.
Welcome back to the AHS Coaches Show. I'm Will Glenn, and joining me now is Tigers defensive coordinator Jonathan Lloyd. Coach, it's the best time of year. How are we feeling?
Man, it's God's country down here in the South for football season. So, man, it's pretty cool to just be here and ready for the next season to start.
Last season, your defense got off to a very impressive start, allowing just 6 points through 4 games. You returned defensive standouts, Jaron Jackson Jr. and Cam Crewy. What will it take for this group to repeat that early success and sustain it?
Yeah, man. So I get to be a part of a group that's got some returning talent. So, man, just the opportunity for them to grow. Because last year, you know, first year of the system and kind of learning new defensive checks and that kind of thing. So an opportunity to return guys, especially Cam. You know, he's kind of the captain of our defense. So he knows kind of what I expect and the expectations that we set for the team. So allowing him the opportunity to grow and lead this group is going to be awesome to see kind of how he grows in his leadership. So it's pretty awesome.
Coach Jones said in the package, he has the ability to host a home playoff game, which would be a historic achievement. Do you believe this defense can help lead him to that?
Absolutely, man. And so on top of that, we have 8 home games, right? So the ability to play in front of our home crowd just only feeds into that. But yeah, man, this defense has the opportunity to set I wouldn't say a record, but set the precedent of what we expect from here on out. And, you know, first 4 games, you know, we've got an opportunity to kind of just set our standard and set our expectations, you know, leading into our first region game against Collierville being game 5. So this defense has to kind of bring it and set the tone and kind of bring that championship mindset to host that game.
Thank you, Coach Lloyd and Coach Jones, for coming on the show, and best of luck this Friday.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Coming up this week, our volleyball team plays all this weekend at Collierville at Bolly in the Ville. On Thursday, they'll be at Houston for their first away game. Then Thursday, they're coming back home to face Briarcrest. That wraps up the first Arlington High School Coaches Show of the season. Like we talked about, the football team debuts this Friday against Raleigh, Egypt at 7 p.m. Come out and support the team. Join us next week and we'll take a look back at that game and catch up on any new developments of the team. I'm Will Glenn, and have a great weekend.